What's up, guys? Welcome back to what is a big news show, a big transfer show, which is weird because we play Fiorentina tomorrow. We need the Champions League money. However, I think the idea of the club is extremely clear. Zirkzee, big update on Zirkzee from good sources, big update on Calafiori from good sources, and a big update on Retegui, yeah, also from big sources. You might say, why? Who's coming in? Where's that money coming from? We're gonna all discuss that in this video. Before we get into it, smash the like button. Let's get to at least 100 likes on this video because it's a big one. Big stories, good sources. Let me know in the comments also what you think of the names I'm gonna mention, and let's jump straight into the updates. Okay, so I will start off with the Zirkzee news first, but these news reports are from Di Marzio, Fabrizio Romano, Mirko Di Natale, and they started off with Tutto Sport, but all of these sources confirm the news basically, and it's big news. It's news some of you might like big time, and some of you might say, are we Bologna or are we Juve, which we're also going to tackle. But the first one is Zirkzee. Also keep in mind, I'm going to go over the news, and then I'm going to talk about how are we going to sign these players? How can we afford these players? So the big update is from Di Marzio, this one on Zirkzee. I will read out the news first. He said, Juve is taking concrete steps to try and sign Zirkzee. Juve is putting pressure on Bayern Munich, trying to convince Bayern to redeem him. If that happens, then Juve will be willing to negotiate directly with the German team. There's also some Premier League clubs interested, including Arsenal, ready to offer him a salary of 6 million euros a season. Initially, as you know, there's also Milan, which will acquire a new starting forward in the summer. Now, a lot to unpack in this one. First, Bologna are loaning him from Bayern. Bayern have a 40 million buy option or 50% or something as well. Or like, not Mirko Di Natale said 50%. Let's say they have a big percentage on the fact, are Bologna gonna sell them? Then they have 50% on that as well. That's kind of the situation. Mirko Di Natale said, at this moment in time, Bayern is not really jumping on the fact, okay, we're gonna redeem Zirkzee and then we're gonna move on. However, what Di Marzio is saying is that Giuntoli, and keep in mind, I spoke about it a couple of weeks ago when they played Lazio and Giuntoli was in the stands. I was like, it's not for Felipe Anderson. It's not for Felipe Anderson. It was for this. And that's what Di Marzio is basically saying as well. So what Juve is, or what Giuntoli wants, he's telling Bayern, you pay 40 million euros for Zirkzee, and we will get him. We will try to sign him from you. Other than go to Bologna, who will ask for more because they need to pay you as well, and it's going to be more difficult for us. Is that fair towards Bologna? I'm not so sure. I think there's more to it. I think it's not only Zirkzee. If the club actually went to Bayern and said, buy him, and we will buy them off of you, there's more to it. And some might say, Chiesa, is he gone? Is he going to go to Bayern? We were linked with Goretzka. We were linked with Sané for some reason. Gnabry, like, I don't know. And it's not about these names, but there's more to it. Now, Zirkzee, I saw the news. I like Zirkzee a lot because he improved massively. He improved to a level that I could have never imagined him go at when I saw him play in the Belgium league every single week. I was like, nice player, but yeah, that's about it. But the improvement he has made, like, he matured so much that he is actually a complete footballer right now. He is completely different to the player who wanted to do it or force it over here in the Belgian league. Wanted to do too much, who was talented and was like, I need to prove everybody every single week I'm that talented. I need to prove it to myself. Now it's like, yeah, I am talented and I will show you, without proof. I will just do my thing and you guys will appreciate it. That's how it feels like right now. Now, when the news comes out, a lot of people are saying, Chiesa's gone, Sule's gone, and I will talk to that in a sec. You can keep all of them. Financially, I don't know. But, like, you can keep the squad as it is, and Zirkzee can still fill in potentially. So I will talk about it because when people say Vlahovic is gone, they're different type of players. Yes, you can play with Zirkzee and not with Vlahovic, but he's not a real number 9 in my opinion. Like he's not. So you can still make that work. I will talk about that towards the end when I say, okay, which players are you going to sacrifice to pay for all these quote unquote players. And I'm not saying it's going to be Zirkzee, it's a done deal, but it is a big update. Milan also in, Giroud's gone, so they're going to go for a forward again, I guess. And if Arsenal is offering 6 million euros, that's a lot of money. However, the story also added that he wants to stay in Serie A because it's going well, and he is like, I don't need to make a move right now. This is going well. I just stay here. That's how it is. And I will give you another reason why it potentially can happen towards the end of the show, towards the end of the video. So that's a big first one, Zirkzee. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. Now, before I go to the other Bologna player, I want to talk about Retegui because the news broke from Tutto Sport saying that, boom, we're in for Retegui, and everybody is picking up on it. You know, every good source is talking about Retegui, that we are in talks with him, and that we want to kind of wrap it up already before the Euros. That's basically the story. Now, Mirko Di Natale came in and he said, yeah, but pump the brakes. He said he's been proposed to Juve and Milan in recent week. On Juve sides, much will depend on the outgoing movements that will occur in the attack, especially Moise Kean. Tutto Sport also said with this story, Milik and Kean are kind of done. These are the players the club wants to move out. And yeah, like Kean, I don't think he wants to be here. And Milik, if you can move him on, you move him on 100%. Now, on the Retegui, I'm not the biggest fan of him. I think he knows how to score a goal, and he's doing that at Genoa much better than I was envisioned. Actually, Genoa was doing much better than I could have imagined or actually predicted at the start of the season. I don't know how much it's going to cost. They paid a lot of money for him. I think they paid like 18 mil or something for him. So they're going to ask for double. Are we going to pay that for a backup? No. This feels like, man, if we want Zirkzee, if it's not happening, we're going to go that route. Yes, not both number 9s, but we will mix it up in a different way, squad-wise, basically. That's how I see it, because you're not going to play 2 strikers, and you're not going to bench Vlahovic in the end. You know, you're not going to bench Vlahovic that much, and you're sure as hell are not going to sell Vlahovic and bring in Retegui. It will make more sense to sell Vlahovic and bring in Zirkzee. That will make much more sense. I don't think that's going to happen as well, by the way. But it's interesting because good sources are confirming it. They're saying, yeah, they're in for Retegui, and it's not a done deal, but it is on the club's mind. Like, this feels like the club is, and again, it all depends on Champions League football. World Cup money is there. Champions League football is essential for the club, and we play Fiorentina, and you know, and Roma play ahead of us, and Atalanta play ahead of us, and Bologna play ahead of us. They can all get closer. Bologna can jump us right now this weekend, so obviously we need it. But I think the club's focus is very clear. They want to overhaul this squad in a complete different way. Young, very young, quote unquote cheap wage-wise and all those things, and sell on value. That's what the club is planning to do. Now, you cannot win with an entire squad of youngsters or young players with no experience and who have not won anything. I get that. So this is early stages. Keep that in mind. But Retegui is a real target. I couldn't believe it when the news came out. I was like, what? But the news is consistent. Kean and Milik are not in the plans. Retegui is one of the options. Now let's move on to the other player of Bologna. And again, people say, are we Bologna or are we Juve? You're not going to win like that. And I fully understand that. I get that. And that's why I said 10 seconds ago, you still need experience. You still need winners in that squad. But Calafiori, who has improved massively, had a big injury. That's maybe concerning. Could be concerning. Should be concerning, I guess. I'm not even going to talk about his ball playing ability, because that's sublime. Like it's insane. You know, his left foot is good. He's so comfortable playing with his left foot, you know, and playing the long balls. That's beautiful. But what strikes me the most of him is he is calm. He is extremely calm at the back, stepping up in midfield. It looks normal. It looks not forced. You remember when Chiellini steps in midfield, or even Danilo or Gatti steps in field with the ball, it feels forced. Even Bremer, to be honest, it feels forced. With him, it feels extremely natural, and that's because in the youth setup, and when he was young, he also played a bit higher on the pitch as well. Apparently, I don't know. That's what the reports also said. Now, left-footed, can play a bit across the line. Excuse me. We are gonna need to replace probably a big time player. Is he going to be enough? No. But Fabrizio Romano and Mirko Di Natale are saying this. First, Fabrizio Romano is saying a very, very concrete track for Juve. They've been working on it since January and it's progressing well. Before that, Di Marcio said he is the real target. And at this moment in time, it feels like he's going to end up at Juve. Now, Mirko Di Natale added that much will depend on the departures up front, especially Keane. Oh, that's not correct. That's that's my mistake. Oh no, that's not my mistake. It's correct. Saying much will depend on the sales. Keane up front, especially Bayern. No, I made a mistake. That is for the Zirkzee. Excuse me. What I wanted to add that Mirko Di Natale said that yes, it is a thing, but Romano added that Basel have 50% on him as well. So Bologna are going to bump up the price or try to bump up the price because they need to give a lot to Basel as well. Now, the price is a price. It's not that Bologna are like, we want 30 for him, but they have 50%, so 45 million. Nobody's going to pay that. It doesn't work like that. However, the price is going to be around the 30 million euros. Now, he is a player a lot of you like, me included, and a lot of you also like the idea that he's young and he's Italian. I don't really care about that part. I care about he's a good player, he's a good defender who can still improve, but with his feet, he's good. And we struggle playing out from the back. We struggle to break lines. We struggle to, if Locatelli is not having a good game, if he's getting kept out of their game, we struggle to bypass that line. And also, even when Locatelli gets the ball, at times it's not fluent. I still don't like his position. We need somebody to open things up, like Bonucci did for us in the past so many times, even for Azzurri. So he is the main target right now, and everything points towards it's gonna be him. He is gonna be the signing. Now the big question is, how on planet Earth are we gonna pay for it? Retegui, Zirkzee, Calafiori, Cope Miners, all these players, we're gonna sell. And one of them is Bremer, who could be on the move, but Daniele Longo added something else, which makes kind of sense. I think Bremer is still the main candidate. That's why we're in for Calafiori. Is it enough to have Gatti, Calafiori, Danilo, Diallo, Rugani, and Huijsen? No. No real experience besides Danilo and Rugani, but not good enough. Quality-wise, not good enough across the board. Like, it's not even close. So Daniele Longo is saying that to fund the transfer of Cope Miners, but actually all transfers in general, Juve might need to offload at least 3 players, namely Sule, Junior, and Keane. Sule has garnered interest from English clubs and Napoli, with Juve valuing at 40 million euro, although they might accept a lower offer around 35 million euro. Junior, valued at 15-20 million, is also considered for sale by Juve, with Tottenham showing significant interest. And regarding Keane, Juve is contemplating a sale of 25 million euros. Still, the decision depends on his end of season performance and the potential for a career resurgence to command a higher market value. The last part is bullshit, because Keane is not going to kickstart his season again, his career again at Juve. That's very clear. It's done, The junior one, it's worrying that it's Tottenham because we will get our pants pulled down. I still am disappointed with the junior one. I accepted that he's gone. No contract talks. 25. I think the club looked at it and is like, we need to cash in him. My frustration is I don't know if he's going to be a top player or just an average player or a good player. We've not seen enough, in my opinion, consistently, and that's why I'm extremely disappointed. But I accepted that we're going to sell him. We're going to sell him and probably Kostic, and it's going to be interesting how we're going to deal with that. Now, the Sule one is extremely interesting because Manna is going to Napoli, and immediately the easy links were like, oh, Sule to Napoli. They're not going to pay what we want. And that's the issue, But I think Sule is one of those players that is gone. How are we gonna do it? Zirkzee. Now we'll come back to that. Zirkzee, what's gonna happen? You can play Zirkzee on the 10. Sule, I don't think he's gonna be here. I think Yildiz could be playing on the right hand side. Chiesa, excuse me, gonna play on the right hand side. Yildiz on the left. Vlahovic up top, and that's why also we've been linked with Felipe Anderson and we've been linked with Zaccagni. Free agents, cheap. That's it. Plus Valenza, big time from Sule. You get in Zirkzee, you write him off over the past couple of years. You bring in a free agent like Felipe Anderson, and on the books, it looks much better. That's just basically how it is. That's how everything is lining up right now, in my opinion. And you can say there's no way we're gonna play and Zirkzee and Vlahovic and Sule and Yildiz and Chiesa, and you can be 100% right, and you're probably right. But keep in mind, we are going into Europe, or we should be going into Europe. We should be going to the Champions League in the Club World Cup. We need to do something. Chiesa is apparently gonna sign a 1-year deal. If he's not gonna get included in a deal with Bayern, for example, because I still think there's something dodgy going around there. If the club is like, okay, 1 year for Chiesa, but if it's not it, then okay, you're gone next season. However, we have Zirkzee. We did not lose out on Zirkzee. You still have Yildiz. You still have Vlahovic. Yes, we needed to move on Sule, but we will figure it out down the line. That's how I think things are shaping up right now. Sule, Junior, Keane, Milik, Bremer, because that's a big fish, Bremer. But then it's Sule, Junior, Keane. Like, these are the players the club will try to move on in the summer, And maybe it's Chiesa on a deal, and maybe if a big offer comes in for Vlahovic, the club is like, yeah, financially, I'm sorry, Dusan. Like last summer with Lukaku, it is what it is. So that's how we're gonna pay for these players. That's the only way. Now to wrap it up, and that's the big one. That's from Di Marzio. He's saying that both Zirkzee and Calafiori are highly appreciated by Motta, who is a preferred choice by the Juve ownership if they move on from Allegri. At this moment in time, if Allegri stays, if the club comes out, official statement, and they're like, yeah, he's going to do out his last year or he's going to get extension, I think 90%, I think 100% of the fan base will be shocked. Even everybody who is, I want to keep Allegri, they still will be shocked. I think 80% of the fan base will be pissed off, but I think everybody will be shocked. Even if you're Allegri in or out, everybody will be shocked at this moment in time if he's actually going to stay. I think it's very clear that the club is more on the side of, we need to move on. We need to make the decision now, and it's going to be Thiago Motta for so many reasons. And that's what I said early on when people say, are we Bologna or are we Juve? We are none of the two right now. That's the honest. We are not the real Juve. We're obviously not Bologna. But who are we? We need to regain our identity is win. But we're not even close to win. We need some changes. We need a clear direction that is going to be, you're going to stick on that direction and you're going to push for it. That's what we need right now. And that's what's completely missing. But that's it for this one. So let me know, a lot to unpack. So let me know in the comments what you think of the links and all these players and how we're going to pay for them, and if you like them and whatever. Let me know in the comments. I will read them and I will have a chat with you guys. Other than that, like the video, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for the preview and the match reaction.